Hello, everyone. We're just waiting a couple of minutes for people to log in, and then we will get starting with our webinar. Looks like we have people coming in from the waiting room, so we're going to give them a minute to file in and then get started. We should take a little less than an hour, hopefully. Um, Depends on how many questions you'll have. Okay, everybody, looks like we are ready to get started. So we are going to move ahead. We've got a big crowd here. We've got 319 people. Welcome, go dogs. Congratulations, everybody, for being accepted and committing to the University of Georgia, because that is an important step. Um, I'm an alum as well, and I'm really happy that y'all are here. First, we're going to go over a little bit of what we're going to talk about tonight. If it's gonna let me, there we go. So here's what's on our agenda. We have first year live-on requirement. Y'all are probably familiar with that. We have the Dawg House, which is our housing portal. We're going to talk about the assignments process, roommates, housing options, housing fees, a little bit about move-in, a little bit about security, then our partner vendors for like insurance and like mini fridges. Then we'll talk a little bit about what you'll see from us at orientation. And then I'll leave you with some resources. So you can, as we go ahead and type your questions into the Q&A box. If you don't see it, you can click on more, or if you're on a mobile device, you may have to tap your screen and see it. So click on Q&A and you'll be able to ask questions. We have 4 or 5 people behind the scenes. They're ready to answer your questions. Um, we will also have time for questions that I will answer at the end. If we see a bunch of the same question or people need clarifying, we will do that at the end of my presentation. All right, so let's get started. Go. You probably already know about this. It's not uncommon for schools to have a first year live-on requirement. That means it's our priority as a university for first year students to live on campus. And that's because first year students living on campus with the rest of their peers and all that support that they have in the halls has been shown to be the most impactful thing as far as retention from like first to second year and GPA as well. So that's why we have that. It is kind of across the board, across the country, true that students who live on campus tend to get higher GPAs, and it's really because of that professional and peer support that they have right there in their building with them. And at UGA, it's really intentional, all that support too. So you will see your RA, you will talk to them at least a couple times a semester, and they'll have specific, questions for you and issues that they can address to really make sure you're getting the support that you need. All right, so students may be familiar with this, but our student housing portal is called the Dawg House. So basically, this is where students will log in and do all these things you see there on the right of the screen. So they registered for housing there. If you've already registered, you can search for a roommate there. You can designate or set up a roommate pair there. We'll go over that a little bit later. And that's basically where all your like kind of personal information related to housing is going to be. So whenever we say the Dawg House, that's what we're referring to. You log in with your UGA My ID and password. Your My ID is that The same as your UGA email that they give you. It's usually like your initials and then a bunch of random numbers. That's your My ID. All right, so this is the main event. This is what everyone's here to kind of learn more about. So choosing housings. Now at UGA, housing is a student-led process. So it's basically students are picking their exact room. Um, and they'll do that in the order in which they register for housing and pay the non-refundable $50 fee. So that $50 fee is just kind of like a commitment fee for housing, though it does not commit you to UGA. But it does let us know that you're serious about coming, and that's when or that's how we determine who gets appointments times to choose, so that there's not, you know, 6,000 people trying to choose all at one time. That would be a nightmare. So, in summary, the earlier you register, pay that non-refundable fee, that's all you're paying up until first day of class. Um, that earlier you'll be able to choose your housing. So if you haven't already registered, please go ahead and do that. It does not commit you to UJ. It just gets you in line to do that. So we usually consider if you registered um, after March, that's a little bit late. So get on it if you're serious about it. All right. So y'all, I'm assuming are first year students coming in for fall of 2026. This is the timeline for how those assignments will happen. So, since December 19th, I think, or 9th, I don't remember, December, you could register for housing. You can still do that up until we keep emailing you and saying you please need to register because you're a first year student and you need to live on campus. Right now, where nothing's happening, people are just kind of waiting. You can do your research on the different buildings and the rates. You can find a roommate. You can create a roommate pair. If you know someone already that you want to be roommates with, I'll go over how to do that in a minute. So nothing's going to happen assignment wise until people start choosing spaces, and that will happen at the end of May and all through June, honestly. So right now we're all just kind of in a holding pattern until after the UJ's commitment deadline, because at that point, then we know how many students we have, how many male versus female, how many like honors students we need to accommodate, all those kinds of things. So really nothing's going to happen until after that point. So just keep an eye on your email. After you commit to UGA, your email will go to your UGA email, if that makes sense. So if you've been checking your Gmail, make sure you forward it to your Gmail or whatever you want to do. But after you commit, those communications should be going to your UGA email. All right, like I said, this is a student-driven process. So people all the time are asking us, what are the chances that my roommate and I get in Blackdale or Miller together? And I will say, I don't know. What are the chances that it's going to be 68 degrees in Tokyo on October 3rd? I don't know because I mean, I could guess, but it's really the independent decisions of 6,200 18-year-olds. So it's really everyone is choosing their own room. I don't know who people are who are pulling in roommates and who are choosing for themselves. So it's really a student-driven process. So that's why there's a lot of kind of unknowns from our point. We would know what might be the most popular buildings, but we can't say with any accuracy whatsoever, like what's going to be left on June 23rd or whatever. Um, because also what happens is people are shifting all summer. Like they didn't get their roommate or they changed their mind or whatever. Thousands of room changes are happening all summer before people even move in. So just keep that in mind as a student-driven process. All right, our goal every year is to have first year students assigned by the 4th of July. So we're not at work on the 4th of July, so it's a nice break for us to go into the holiday weekend with every first year student assigned, and then we can start concentrating on those room changes because as soon as students have a completed housing contract, then they can request a room change if they want one. All right, I want to talk a little bit about Morehead Honors College because it's a slightly different process. We do have about 250 spaces in Myers Hall for Morehead Honors College participants. That's not enough to house everyone who's an honors participant, um, but we do give our first year students first shot at those 250 spaces. So, how that'll happen is it doesn't matter when you register for housing as long as you are registered. But basically, we'll send you an email that's like, hey, you're eligible to choose Myers Hall before appointment times begin. Would you like to do that? And you can do that if you want to try to be in Myers Hall. If you don't want to be in Myers Hall, great. Wait till your appointment time. But if you do want to take that opportunity, you'll log in on that special day, and all you'll see is the eligible rooms in Myers Hall. You do need an honors roommate. Um, if you're pulling in a roommate on that day, sometimes rarely. Honors participants do not take all of their allotted spaces in Myers, and there will be some rooms left over for non-honors participants. And at that point, they could pull in a non-honors roommate, but that doesn't happen that often. So don't count on that if you have someone who's not in the honors program or the honors college. Just pick a different building, basically. All right. Speaking of roommates, these are three ways I like to tell people that you can get roommates. First is bring a friend. So you know someone, right? They're on your soccer team. Um, go to your high school. They're your best friend or your twin sister. You already know them, and they're admitted for the same semester that you are admitted as well, and they're a first year student as well. Um, that's what we call bring a friend. So, what you would do is you would just set up a roommate pair in the Dawg House. This week we'll have a video on our YouTube channel that tells you exactly, like screen by screen, how to do that. The next way to get a roommate is to find someone. So you can do that in our system, in the Dawg House, like we talked about before. There's some profile questions in there. Answer those profile questions, and it'll return you a match. It's like Match.com for roommates. It'll say, "Oh, Carrie, you're a 82% match with Sydney." And I'll be like, "Hey, Sydney, send her a message. Do you want to be roommates? Or do you want to talk about being roommates?" It's not an automatic match. You're still in control of that situation. It's just kind of a tool to filter people who may be also looking for roommates and who also may be compatible based on those profile questions. So you can also, you know, join the Instagram group or, join, there's a group me, I don't know, there's usually some kind of social media tool that the kids are using that are people looking for roommates. So that's another way to do that as well. And the same thing would apply. Once you find your person, you go into the Dawg House, you set up a roommate pair. You can only have two people in a pair. That's why it's called a pair. Um, and then either one of you can assign the other. All right, the last way to get a roommate is to wait until it's your turn to choose a space, and then you choose any space you want, and either there's already somebody in that other space, or they come in after you and they choose that space as well. So all you know is that it's going to be another first year student with the same gender that you have in your UGA application. So that's pretty much why we call it make a friend. It's a random roommate. As soon as they've done their contract, you'll be able to see if they haven't restricted their information, you'll be able to see who they are and reach out to them. So you do have that option. All right, so we're going to talk about the types of rooms that we have on campus. We have 23 residence halls, 24. I don't know. There's a new one this fall. So now I've lost count. Um, and then also three apartment buildings. So all of these do have rooms that are available to first year students. We only have really one building where first year students do not live, and that's on our health sciences campus. But I will say that given all of these types of options, so double with community bath is what you're thinking like a dorm room is. You know, two people in that room, bathroom down the hall. Double with bath, I like to describe like a hotel room. So two beds in the room, bathroom is in that room as well with the beds. A suite could be a few bedrooms surrounded by a common area, like a living room, or it could be a couple of bedrooms just connected by a bathroom. Like that would be a suite. And then an apartment is what you're thinking. So it could be there's a living room, there's a kitchen, there's a full-size fridge, there's individual bedrooms that could be single or double occupancy. So those are the types. I will say that 85% of the spaces we have for first year students are double with community bath. So I know a lot of y'all come in and you're all kind of like, I can't share my room with anybody. I can't share a bathroom. And you think you might die, but I promise you won't die. Um, so just count on having a roommate because our first year students have roommates. Um, all those options are available, but 85% of the rooms we have for first years are double with bath. All right, this is the disappointing part of the presentation. There are no in-person tours. There are none during the school year because we don't have any empty rooms. And also we prioritize the security and comfort of the people who currently live with us. Um, we do not have any in the summer because that's our only chance to really fix and deep clean things, but we also have camps in our building. So it could be soccer camp, swim camp, math camp, band camp. And a lot of those have minor participants, so we don't want a bunch of randos. No offense to y'all, wandering around the building. So I don't worry though, I will give you an alternative to the in-person tours that's almost as good, and that's our virtual tour. Some of you have probably already done this, but I'm going to see if I can stop my share for a second and show you how it works. Got to go to a different window. There we go. Now I'm going to share again. Where's my share? There we go. Okay. Heather, let me know if nobody can see that because I feel like I did it right that time. Um, we're gonna go to where do we want to go? I'm gonna go to Mel Hall. So basically, if you click on Mel, it goes right to the entrance. Here's Mel. Hi, Mel. And you walk in. So it's like a Google Street View. And what I'm doing too is like it's 360, so I can spin all the way around. Everybody take your Dramamine. I can walk down the hall. Let's see all the study rooms and the the lounge and the laundry. So every building has this. You can also skip straight to the parts you want to see. Like here's a student room. This one has the beds up. The beds up is the default position for the beds, just by the way. So you can see all around Mel. I'll also go to the bathroom, show you that it's not scary and you won't die in there. It'll be fine, you guys. Our staff clean it twice a day. So this is bathroom. Look at that, real doors, whole doors. And the showers are the same way though, I think. Yeah, they're there. Showers. Okay. So that's a virtual tour. Every building is on there except our new building, 2266. We will not get that turned over to us from the construction company until I think the end of May. But there won't be furniture in it until maybe mid-July. So at that point, we'll do our 360. So if you have an assignment if you end up with an assignment in our new building, which is building 2266, we'll make sure you get as much information as we have on that. All right, I'll stop sharing. Go back. to the presentation. Boop, boop. Where's my Zoom? All right, share again. I love technology. Okay, we're back. Okay, after tours, we're going to talk about fees. So this is a point that I feel like maybe everybody doesn't know. Housing fees are generally based on privacy options. That means that we have a lot of different fees based on, do you have your own bathroom? Do you share a bathroom? How many people do you share a bathroom with? All those types of things. The fees are listed. If you go to if you look at the bottom of the screen, you should be able to find them at that link. Those are this year's rates. The Board of Regents has not approved next year's yet, so they're not up there. But when we get them, we will share them with you. They are not on our timeline, so we're doing what we can. Those fees will not be charged until after you've chosen your room, and then it's usually the middle of July when you start seeing like dining, housing, parking. Tuition won't be on your account until they know how many hours you've registered for. So it won't be mid-July until they actually put that on the student account. But you will know what that is in advance because it'll be here on our rate table. So that's a good way to estimate. And also, like if you have a budget that you're working with, make sure that you're choosing something that's within that budget as well, because there can be a vast difference between some of those housing fees. The fees are generally due the first day of class for each semester. So the rates that you see are listed for per semester, not per person per semester, if that makes sense. All right, now let's talk about move-in, which is always one of the very most exciting times of the year in housing. So if you're a participant in sorority recruitment with Greek Life, you should be moving in on August 9th. You will need an arrival time. We'll talk about that probably the late June, but um, make sure you're just kind of paying attention to your email and communications from Greek Life for more information about that, basically. For everyone else, move-in begins on August 14th. The first day of class is August 17th. So on the 14th and 15th, you will need an arrival time. Again, those arrival times will be in the Dawg House for you to choose one in late June, usually. We don't have them yet because we do it by building and we need to know who's in what building to start doing those arrival times. So if you want to volunteer with Move In, you can do that as well. I'm not sure it's on the housing website yet, but it will be very soon. Basically, you are helping with parking or, um, check-in. You're not moving people's things. Recycling is a big one. Y'all cannot imagine how much cardboard and plastic and styrofoam comes when 9,000 people move in. You cannot imagine. So those are really big volunteer tasks. And if you do volunteer for Hunker Down with Housing, you'll have a shift on the 14th and one on the 15th. And you will also get to move in on August 13th. So that's an option. You don't have to do it now because we have more than 300 volunteers. If you're doing sorority recruitment, you can't do it. But if you are interested in that, you can talk more with us about it in the summer or just keep an eye out for it on Instagram, Facebook, or the housing website. All right, so if you're moving in on August 16th, which I think is a Sunday, um, then you do not need an arrival time. You can come whenever you want. The desks will be open, will be in full swing. And then the first day of class is August 17th. So it's kind of a tight turnaround this year. But that's because they changed the academic schedule on us mid-year. But keep an eye on the housing website for the move-in information. Keep an eye on the Facebook. All of those will be great places to kind of keep getting information, and we'll update it as we go through the summer. Okay, I swear, y'all, what am I on? It's only been 23 minutes. Okay. So this is about security. So we get a lot of questions about this too during the summer. So there is restricted access in the residence halls, which means you need your UJ ID and a PIN number to access your building. And all of those access points are on the exterior of the building. There may be an additional one on the interior, but there's one on the exterior as well. We have 24-hour desks. I think we will have 10 24-hour desks, so sprinkled all around campus as of the fall. That's where you can always find a person in case you lost your ID or your key or, like your sink is leaking or something like that. We also have our own uniformed security staff at night. They work really closely with the UGA PD. 24-hour maintenance response. So, if your air conditioner's not working and it's August and it's Saturday night, we will address that concern because it's probably still 92 degrees. So, if your light bulb is out at 3 a.m. on a Sunday, we probably won't come out 24 hours, but for emergencies, we do. And then, of course, we have security cameras in public areas and covering all exterior doors. That means elevator lobbies, study lounges, stairwells. They're not in the student hallways or bathrooms or rooms, obviously, but they're just there so that we can track people moving throughout the building pretty consistently. All right, we're getting to the end, y'all. I'm sure you're hanging with me. So these are our partner vendors. These are ones that are companies that UGA has some contracts with. Basically, we know them and we trust them to offer specific services. So GradGuard offers tuition insurance, but also renters insurance. We do recommend that you get renters insurance. It could be through GradGuard or it could be through your own personal, like homeowners insurance. It doesn't really matter. Um, they do have um, pretty good rates. I think last time I checked, it was like $12 a month or something, and it covers your things on campus, not just in your room, but like if you're at the student center and you leave your laptop and somebody takes it, then it would cover it just because it was on campus. My College Fridge, or they also have bedloft.com, they offer rentable mini fridge microwave combinations. So if you rent from them, then basically they will put it in your room before you move in and they'll take it away after. And if anything happens to it, they'll bring you a different unit. So that's a great option. You can bring your own. You can buy your own or bring your own. This is just a good option because we know those work. We know that they are reliable, and that they have a good product, but also that it's easy for us when they just come a couple days before move in and put everybody's fridges in, and then they come a couple days after move out and they take everybody's fridges away. So it's really easy. And if you don't want to haul fridges upstairs or from the parking lot, highly recommend. Right, so here's some other ways you will see us in the near future. Um, On day one of your first year orientation, because the 2-day orientation, there will be a reception, like a housing reception with like coffee and snacks in Black D. Allen Miller Hall, which is where people can stay during their orientation session. You do not have to stay there, but you can. That's an option for students, not for supporters, just students. But there will be a reception there, and we're also going to have a furniture showroom. So there's a giant room there, and we're going to bring in a lot of furniture from like the most common furniture that you'll see in the residence halls, because we know you can't actually go in that room, um, or your room. So we're gonna have, like the dressers and the beds, and there'll be at different heights, and we'll have the desks and the chairs. You can measure till your heart's content, and kind of get a glimpse of what the furniture looks like in different buildings. We'll also be at a resource fair, and that is also at the same time as the reception and the furniture showroom right before you have orientation start. Come see us, and you can get a little button that has your hall on it. I put church because that's my favorite one because that's where I lived. Um, but you get a little button and you put on your orientation lanyard, and then If you see anybody else that has a church button, you can be like, hey, we're gonna be, you make a friend, basically. And it works really well. Like, don't knock it till you try it. The orientation leaders clamoring for these this year too. Um, Next, we will have a presentation. It'll be 10 minutes, so not as long as you see me now. But we'll have a 10-minute presentation that'll focus on a lot of things that you would need to know surrounding move-in and stuff like that. And then we'll have Family Weekend, which is a university-wide event, November 5th through 8th. So plan ahead for that. I don't think registration is open yet, but that's another opportunity to interact with us. All right. So you get this with everything, I'm sure. But our social media channels are directed at specific people. So if you're an incoming student, you may want to check out the YouTube. We're focusing all the content on like, here's how I set up my room. Here's what my room looks like. Here's what I brought for my room. Here's what I needed and here's what I didn't. I just realized I forgot to call on our student and I even set myself a reminder to do this. I'm going to go back and do it. Don't worry. Let me get through this, Ella. I'm sorry. Um, Facebook is for parents and supporters, so that's like processes, deadlines, resources. Our current residents are looking at our Instagram. Of course, you're welcome to do that as well. It really has events, resources, and programs, get to know staff and things. And then our TikTok is just for fun. I'm going to go back to, okay, I'm going to go back a lot because I did this. I know what happened was my little talkie person box was blocking it. There we go. Room types, roommates. Okay, Ella, it's your time to shine. Um, Roommates. Can you talk a little bit about how you found your roommate, how you got a roommate, how you know your friends got roommates, things like that?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
Okay, okay, perfect. Um, so yeah, I found my roommate my freshman year through well, let me go back. When I first got accepted, I joined a bunch of the Instagrams, like social media things where people can post their profile and talk about trying to find a roommate. So I did use those for a little bit and talked to a couple people, but then one of my friends from home ended up getting in and me and her ended up rooming together. So in my experience, I roomed with someone I knew, and I also think probably a majority of the other people I knew freshman year met people through Instagrams and things like that. Um, I knew a couple people who had random roommates and that worked out too, but in my experience, I know before I got to campus, everyone I talked to told me like, don't room with a friend, like you shouldn't, I feel like everyone says that. And at the time, I was like, no, that's fine. I roomed with like my best friend. And if I were to give a personal recommendation, I would say the best thing to do is utilize either the roommate search website so that you can like match with people, like you said, like Match.com, match with people you're similar to, or go on the social media and try and find someone else you're also similar to because when you live and share a room with someone, sometimes when you do the random roommate, you may room with someone who you're not very similar with. Maybe they're a morning person, you're not, or they like to have people over and you don't, that type of thing. So I would say I would recommend living with someone that you get to know a little bit at least before you live together. I will say that adage is true about sometimes if you room with someone you're very close with a friend that you could spend a little too much time together. So I would say go on there and make a friend or find a friend, someone new to room with, but someone that you're still compatible with and that you'd be able to share a room with. But overall, yeah, it was still a good experience rooming with someone I knew. So it kind of just depends person to person. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. All right, and Ella is a current student, if I didn't say that. Hang out, Ella. I'm gonna find the other slide. Oh yeah, this one is what I want to talk about. But I did want to agree with Ella. Like we tell people, like everyone in housing will tell you not to room with your best friend if you want to stay best friends. Basically because you may be best friends,
Yes.
but like have you lived with them all the time? But also like expectations are just too high at that point. Like nobody can meet those expectations. And you tend to fall into like old routines and habits where it's a really good chance to meet someone new and like their acquaintances and their friends and their extracurricular activities. So that's just our advice. Like I get it's scary, but you can do it. All right, Ella, do you want to talk about room types, community bathrooms, your experience with any of those?
Yeah, for sure. So I lived in the kind of typical dorm, the double with the community bath. Um, and to be honest, I was very scared about the whole community bathroom. I know a lot of people are very apprehensive about that, but honestly, it's just not as bad as you think it's going to be. It's kind of just, you just get used to it. If I were to give any advice about it, it's just don't overthink it. Just everyone else is sharing a bathroom and sharing a shower. So it's not like you're the only one. Like it says, like 85% of students are using communal bathrooms. So um, yeah, it's really not that bad. I will say when I first moved in, and I lived in Boggs, which is kind of a smaller building, and on the first floor, which was kind of a half floor. So our communal bathroom was pretty small. We only had two showers, two stalls. Um, the first couple of days, I don't know why this is, but sometimes there tends to be like backup, like I had to wait to shower and all that kind of stuff. But I would say kind of let that pass. Like a lot of times students will get really nervous about that, like, oh, am I gonna have to wait to shower? But I don't know why, but like once you get into a routine, like within a couple of days, I feel like that tends to go away, and you don't have to wait to shower, worry about that, like the bathroom's getting overflow or whatever. Um, Also, I was gonna say that I think a lot of people think of the communal bathrooms as something really scary, like a public gas station bathroom or something. It's not like that. Like you said, they clean them twice a day, so they're really clean, so it's not dirty or anything like that. But I think it's more just mental. People get in their heads about everyone sharing a bathroom. But yeah, I mean, I had a great experience with my, double, and yeah, the bathrooms aren't that bad.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, again, like yeah, you get used to it. It's not like prison. There's not like walls of shower
Yeah.
heads or anything. And also we do hear feedback from the students who have bathrooms in their room or their apartment that it's a lot harder to meet people. Like you have to be really
Mhm.
intentional about meeting people because you're not seeing them when you're like brushing your teeth or, doing your hair or whatever. So that's just something to consider too. All right, sorry I forgot you initially, Ella. Okay.
No,
All
you're
right,
okay.
all right, you're good now. Okay, you can go back into
Okay.
obscurity. All right.
Okay.
Let's see. Sorry, I had a reminder on my screen to bring her up, and I didn't see it because the little window was there. All right. I think this is either the last slide or the second to last one. New Student Hub. So there's a housing new student hub. It's basically a web page that has tons of resources on it. It's got a what to bring checklist. It's got video playlists. It's got how to get to those floor plans, how to get to the room plans, how to adjust your bed, how to do the roommate searches. Um, all of that stuff is going to be on the new student hub. It's just basically if you don't know where it's going to be, then just search UGA Housing New Student Hub, and you will probably find what you need from there. All right, that is all I had. Now I'm gonna go see if y'all had any questions. Let's see, Q&A. All right, so Heather has told me to answer these questions, so I'm gonna. Um, Anonymous, who's a super fan, they're always at my webinars. Hi, Anonymous. Says, please explain benefits of Myers Hall for honor students. So basically, the benefit is you're choosing your housing before other people. You get a really desirable location because Myers Hall is on Myers Quad, like right in the center of campus. That's where they do like ESPN College Game Day whenever that comes during football games. Um, there's also an honors advising office in Myers Hall, and they do a couple of special events for honor students as well. So again, it's not a requirement, but it's just kind of a nice thing to have because it's not all honor students. It's not going to be like all in benefits, but it's really just a nice thing to have. All right, let me make that done. All right, Andrew says we filled out the profile, but not seen any suggested matches. Is there a search or a part of the portal to see matches? So basically, this happens a lot is people haven't started filling out the profiles yet, so there may not be a lot in there at the moment. Make sure your student has filled out all of their questions. That's the first part. Um, but you may have to wait until other people are filling out theirs as well, to get any good real returns. And then again, like Ella said, there's probably an Instagram page, just probably like if you just search like hashtag UGA 2030, is that what we're on? That makes me feel really old. That's got to be what it is. 31? I don't know. It's a long time. Um, Search the hashtag and you should be able to see those as well. But sometimes you don't see them because either, um, not a lot of people have put in or they're just not matching a lot. Like I said, this week we're going to have a video on how that works. So look for that both on the housing website and the housing YouTube. All right, Anonymous again says, how's the process for move-in work? What do we have to bring other than the stuff on the checklist? Okay, that's a great question. And Ella may have an answer too, so I'll give her a heads up that I may ask her. Um, so I'll hold on a second, Ella. But basically, the process is you'll choose a move-in appointment time if you're moving in those first 2 days. Um, that's when you arrive. That's just so we can space everybody out so we don't have 9,000 people coming at one time. And then we have bins there that you can check out, but if you do have a hand cart or something like that, you may want to bring that. The checklist is a good place to start, but Ella, is there anything like you brought that was really helpful throughout the year or something you brought that you're like, I never used that?
I would say definitely a mini fridge. I think a lot of people tend to bring those. That was really nice that we had that. Another thing that I actually didn't bring initially that I wish I had and ended up getting later in the year was a futon, or like it doesn't have to be a futon, like a small couch for sitting. When I moved in, we just had like I think just a beanbag or something to sit on because we kind of thought, oh, we'll just sit on our beds, whatever. But I and pretty much everyone else I know kept our beds pretty high up, and never really got on them unless we were going to bed. And so I would definitely recommend having some sort of like little couch or futon because we ended up like getting so tired of our beanbag and went and bought one. So I would recommend getting something like that. Um, in terms of everything else, I would say maybe wait on some of the decorations and stuff besides bigger stuff because me and my roommate like bought a bunch of stuff and then we got back in there and we're like, oh, we don't even have room for all this stuff. So bring the important stuff during move-in and then everything else you can kind of fill in later, but definitely futon or small couch of some sort and a mini fridge, I would
Yeah,
recommend.
you're my new favorite student, Ella, because I think a lot of the times people like you'll buy the futon ahead of time, and then not only do you have to like pack it and move it in, like just buy one in town or wait till you see
Mhm.
what you need, or maybe somebody else down the hall has something better. We have stores here. We also have Amazon. They deliver. So I think that's good advice. One thing I would say don't bring is like a printer. Like nobody has printers because you can print basically anywhere on campus by just sending things through the cloud and like you don't have room for extra stuff. You don't need a printer. And if you have one, then like everybody in your hall is going to try to print stuff on your printer. So that's what I would say. Anything you brought that you felt like you didn't need?
Um, well, besides that beanbag, uh, I'm trying to think. Oh, I did have like in a lot of stuff like an air filter, a bunch of like extra devices, which I know a lot of people use their air filters. I feel like me and my roommate just didn't end up using ours. We also had like a projector we got. We never used that because we just used our computers like when you're in a small space. Um, I can't think of anything specific, but kind of just stuff if you're like on the fence, like I don't think I'll use this, maybe don't bring it and just wait and see because you
Yeah.
already have a bunch of stuff you're going to be moving in. So,
Yeah. Or you can like borrow a projector. Like Like not everybody needs one. All right. Thank you, Ella.
Okay,
All right.
you're welcome.
So, Jenna says, where can we sign up for orientation? You can't do that yet. It will happen after the commitment deadline in May. But they will send you information from admissions will send you information about how to sign up for an orientation session, and they happen all summer long. So everyone will get one. Hunter says, what are the steps to pull in a roommate and make a pair? So basically, again, we're gonna have a whole video with screenshots on it later this week. But all you need to know is like one person has to go into the doghouse, set up a room or like start a roommate pair, um, and then like they assign themselves a screen name. Could be anything. It could be like Special Poodle 23. I don't know where that came from. As long as you tell your potential roommate your screen name, they can look for you, you can look for them, and you basically send them an invitation to be in a roommate pair, and they accept, and boom, either one of you can assign the other person. So it's not challenging, but you do need to be in a confirmed roommate pair before you go in to choose your housing, because otherwise you won't be able to pull that person into a room. All right. Anonymous says, do we pick specific rooms or just the room type and the hall? So basically, you'll log in and you'll pick specific rooms. So if I want Brumby 315 and I see it there, I can pick Brumby 315. It's basically like online shopping. You're even adding rooms to your cart. This will be in the roommate video as well. But you can sort by building, you can sort by room type, you can sort by like, are there two people in the room or four people in the room? Do all those sorts and filters, and it'll only show you what's available to you and what is has not already been chosen. So, for example, a male would only see male spaces, and if you're a first year student, you only see male first year student spaces, and you can choose what's from what's in front of you. We're not holding things back, basically. Whatever's there is there. Pick from what's in front of you. All right. Anonymous says, are some dorms more social than others? Are some more quiet? I would say that let me see how we're doing on time. We're okay. I would say that the first year high rises, which would be Brumby, Russell, and Creswell, are more social because that's like 1,000 first year students in one building. So there's always someone to go to the dining hall with. There's always someone to give you a ride to Target. There's always someone doing something. Like it's pretty social. But having said that, the smaller buildings tend to be more quiet because there are fewer people, but you may get to know those people a little bit better because you're not seeing 1,000 different people every day. You're just seeing 100 or so. So that's kind of just what you want to go on. Like what's your vibe? Do you want it super social or do you want it which is gonna be like probably a bigger building, or if you want it not as social, which would be a smaller building or a building that has like suites in it. All right, Margot says, what is, oh, okay, I guess it's gone. Never mind. Sorry, Margot. All right, Anonymous says, say that again about the roommate pair. I'm not going to say it again because I swear there's going to be a video later this week. All right, I'm going to go to the bottom. Anonymous says, are we allowed to hang things on walls with nails or screws? So no, you cannot use nails or screws. Depending on your building, you'll need to either use like thumbtacks, or command strips. If you've got drywall, which some of the newer buildings have drywall, you can use thumbtacks, but you can't use nails or screws. If you don't have drywall, then you're going to be using like command strips, basically. All right, let's see. Answered that. Oh my goodness, I'm having trouble keeping up. Y'all are typing so fast. Um, Okay, lots of questions about parking. We're not parking services, but I will say there will be a day on which you can register for parking. I don't know what that day is. Check with them. Um, so go ahead and do that. And even if you don't know where you're living, pick a lot, look at a map, pick a lot. They'll have you pick like I think three choices. So pick some that are near where you hope to live. And if they offer you a spot, you take that spot. I don't care if that spot is the worst spot, like under a pine tree where a bunch of crows live and poop on your car every day. You take that spot, um, because it's not guaranteed, um, and it is in high demand. All right, can you hang curtains or blinds in the dorms? Heather's answering that, but there are already blinds in the dorms. But yes, you can hang curtains if you're using like tension rods or command strips or something like that. All right. Nobody's giving me any questions, but y'all are typing like crazy. Um, I'm gonna go, well, I was gonna go out to a different page, but that will just reshare things. Um, Marie says, are there specific freshman housing buildings? There are. So there are some buildings that are only freshmen, first year students, and there are some buildings that are a mix of first year students and upper class students. And we have one building that's all upper class students, and then we have apartment buildings that are all families and graduate students. So there are several buildings that are all first year students. And you can go on the housing website and sort through those. I'm going to stop my share and show you the best place to kind of know where the information is. All right, let me share again. Share that one. Go. All right, so here we're on housing.uga.edu. You go to incoming students or current, you can see in both places. You go down to explore options. You'll see all of our buildings there. If you click on these headers, you can sort by down sorting by type. You can sort by gender. You can sort by first year only to answer Marie's question. You can just search by undergraduate, which would be first year students could live there as well as upper class students. So you can do all those searches or sorts rather. Um, and then you'll see everything that appears under that. I mean, if you actually go to the building, we're going to choose Boggs because that was Ella's favorite. You can go straight to the virtual tour from there. You can see all the information about it. And once you know your room name or your room number, you can search for that and see the floor plan. Um, I'm gonna show you what that looks like too. I'm gonna go Boggs 401. Submit. And ta-da, there we go. That's pretty much what all the rooms and bogs look like. So um the furniture is built in, so you're not seeing a lot of furniture dimensions on that one. But that's basically the place you want to go. It's also got rates on there. It's got as many pictures as we have of there. It'll point it out on a map. So really this is gonna be like your number one place to go. Um, some of our buildings are open for winter break and spring break. If you know you need to be on campus for during break periods, then you need to choose one of those buildings because all the other buildings will close. Um, Generally because all of our student staff are gone and we cannot put people at the desks there when they're closed. So if you do need to be on campus for winter's Thanksgiving or spring break, make sure you're choosing a building that is open during break periods. All buildings are going to have Wi-Fi and wired internet. They're all going to have laundry rooms. They're all going to have study lounges. Um, they're all going to have like beds, mattresses, whatever. Again, you'll look at the room plan for that. Excuse me. Um, So that's a good resource. And then you can also see like this is one of the smaller buildings, 160 people, 160 all first year students. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing and see if we have any more questions.
Hi, everyone. This is Heather. I think Carrie is experiencing some technical difficulty, so I'm going to jump in real quick to kind of finish us out. So I just want to go through a couple of these real quick that I think Carrie was trying to answer. And let me also just say that we might not be able to get to all of the questions this evening, but if we're not able to get to your question this afternoon or this evening, then feel free to get in touch with our office, and we are happy to get y'all some more information. Okay, it looks like Carrie's back, so I'm gonna turn it back over to her.
I don't know what happened there. It just said no internet, but apparently we do have internet. I just like to leave you guys on a cliffhanger. Anyway, it's 7:57, so I'm going to wrap it up anyways. We will make note of the questions that we didn't get to. So, like again, and this will be recorded. It's recording. We'll put it on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you are looking for that. And please just reach out and ask us any questions, like Heather said. If you have any questions, we are happy to help. We're really here to make sure that you have all the information that you need. All right, it's 7:58. I'm gonna call it, y'all. But I appreciate your time. Thank you, and thank you to our panelists and to Ella, and go dogs.